Hey guys, Lindsay Duff here from Motivated Trader, and I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about today. Today is not my favorite kind of trading day. A lot of people do love this kind of day. I took one trade that I didn't even really take. I just marked arrows because I had a pretty good feeling it wasn't going to work out. So let's start with the beginning of the day around 8:30. So our day starts right about here. Let's see. Oh yeah, right there, 8:30. Okay. So the day starts at 8:30, and right now what's happening when the day starts is you have a really decent trend to the upside, pretty strong trend to the upside. It's pushing up. It does give you some opportunities as it pulls back into the 233. Alt F8, remember that, Lindsay? I don't like to take these trades off the 233 tick chart or off the 233 EMA, but it's something that Marina loves, something that many of you love, so we're not going to pretend like they're not there. Okay. Whenever these push up, it does give you multiple exit opportunities. You know, you've got just kind of reversal bars. If you were just feeling comfortable, you got another pretty long reversal bar here. Then you've got a ceiling. And I look at this ceiling and I see that the price bars are all staying in the same place. And you've got a little bit of distance to go back down to the 233 EMA. So what I find happens is the price snaps back to these areas, okay? So once you see this starting to happen, you might want to go ahead and once your MACDs are really slowing down there, be like, all right, it might be time to get out of this. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's happening with the divergence here, okay? So divergence is a difference between the price and the MACDs. Now, you can see on the 1597 at that point, there is no divergence. The price and the MACDs are agreeing, but they are not agreeing on the 610. So what does this mean? Okay, divergence, the job of divergence is to, what I used to think the job of divergence was to change the entire trend in the market, to push the price past this blue line, past your zero line, everything, and shift the momentum. But I have a little bit different view of what the shift of the market is now. Since I look in a longer term. Now for Marina, that would already be a shift in the change. But for me, I want to wait till it gets past the 1597 and really shows me proof that it's going to change. Otherwise, we've got a lot of distance, we've got a lot of spacing between these bands, and that tells me that we have a strong trending market. Okay? So it also tells you that divergence really doesn't have the potential to hold. And what I mean by hold is give you that push back down. Okay, so so what happens here is you have your first divergence, right? Right before the market opens, it comes back. Heck, you even got a second divergence right there, right before the market opens. But it doesn't hold. It pulls down and it goes back up and exceeds that pivot area that we were at before. So it exceeds that last pivot. So that is a very, very, very strong, or it's a very big signal for a strong trending market. Okay, it says if divergence cannot hold and change the trend, then it's a strong signal for a strong trending market. So, you know, a day like today is a very tough day for me personally. I don't work well with the days like today, where it's just a slow, grindy move into one direction, because things like what happened here happened to me. I didn't start trading until this point, and I was like, man, actually I started right about here. I was like, there's nothing to do. I'm really feeling impatient. The only thing from here in my mind is reversal trades, because I struggled taking trades off of the 233. And, you know, you could have taken some trades here, I guess. I mean, I would have been very, very cautious with the MACDs coming down pretty strong on the, on the 1597. So it does pull back into the 1597 EMA. And guys, look at the strength. Look at the angle of that 1597 EMA the whole day. I mean, even the fact that I played around with this was really silly, okay? I should not have been in that, not even playing with it. I struggle with reversals, and I struggle with strong trending markets like this. So, you know, there are lots of opportunities that happened here. I mean, one trade that I may have taken would be this one right here. You know, some people would see it happening back here. Some people even back here. Just by actually this back here is not a bad look to it, because you have this kind of higher low now in the MACDs, which starts to say, all right, everything's back in agreement, okay? And so when that happens, a lot of times I'm looking, okay, this is a good area. That one, not a huge fan of. I like a little bit more confirmation, so when it pulls back here. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, you know, my play trade there was at a point when I could have been getting out from the long that I didn't take, okay? And also, it's just silly that I even did that. I mean, it shows me that you know, I'm definitely not prepared to take those kind of trades, because look what starts happening. Everything starts spreading apart further. It's getting wider. It's showing more strength and more momentum in that direction. And it actually gives you a couple, you know, by this point, my brain is stuck in the short. Okay, I'm stuck in going, man, when's this going to turn around? When's this going to turn around? So that means I didn't take this. I didn't take any of this. I didn't take any of this. And look what happens. It just continues to the upside. And it gives you more and more pullbacks into the area. By this point, I'm definitely not taking that trade long, because it's just gone on too long. Marina would take it. She'd get her point and she'd be out. And that is a wonderful thing. It's just not, I don't trade that way. We both trade a little bit differently. And, you know, today, obviously my head wasn't with me, so I didn't trade. You know, there are different exit opportunities along the way. This would be your last one as it pulls up, and it just kind of equals that area and doesn't really go anywhere. You had the little W pattern in the MACDs, and they kind of petered out, so that would be a good time to go ahead and exit that trade. Now, divergence is something that a lot of people don't understand very well. We did have divergence. Where was it? We did have divergence right here, which was why I actually even played around with that trade that wasn't going to work. So you have what's the potential for divergence at this point, right? So price is leading higher, MACD is leading lower, but look at the distance in the BBs. You know, this is really working hard to push up. After it did this slow roll here and gave you great opportunity to get in. So the potential for divergence doesn't mean divergence, okay? It just means that there is the potential for divergence, that we might see some along the way. Now, your higher time frame was most definitely giving you divergence. And it actually is a huge signal that you had an extremely strong trending market. Because once you break past that first divergence, which would have happened right about here, once you break past that first divergence, it says, hey, look, this is not going anywhere. It's trying to lie to us and tell us that the divergence is going to change the trend, but everything else is in agreement that it's still continuing to the upside. So, you know, and the way divergence is created is, look how hard these BBs push down. Look at all the spacing and the distance between them. And then they have to do a ton of work to get back up here and equal that previous pivot. Now, these are just BBs, right? The price bars are long. They have the ability to have a lot more spacing between them than the BBs, than our moving average convergence divergence here. And so it's easier it's easy to see it at once you have a strong move in one direction, that it's going to have to do a lot of work to pull back up. And you can see it was saying, oh gosh, we're still going down, when it just was hanging out. It had to do a lot of work to pull back up, didn't do it, Needed a lot more work to pull back up. So it's kind of coming down here and collecting itself, I guess you could say. So it finally pushes up pretty hard and then pulls back down and says, okay, this is over and done with. We no longer have divergence. And we have a strong trending market. Now, about this time, the divergence would have been about right here. Let me move all these other lines so it doesn't get too confusing. So at the same time that we were seeing the potential for divergence here, we were seeing the potential for divergence here as well. But look at the distance between these BBs, which I obviously was not paying attention to when I did my little play trade here. And guys, it's just part of life, you know. You're not going to be 100% every day. I mean, sure, I guess some of you will be, but, you know, single mama too, who was up way later than I should have been last night. Not really a great atmosphere for having your brain on full function, okay? So the MACDs started getting some real distance and spacing between them while the price was just kind of hanging out, which gave it the opportunity to catch up and no longer have divergence, okay? And so, what we had today was a strong trending market. And strong trending markets are something you should never fight, okay? Now, this does give you the opportunity to take a short here. This is one of Marina's 1597, or was it her magic zone trade? You know, you would get it as it pulled back, maybe somewhere in here, and then you would take it specifically down to the 1597 EMA, because if you take it any further than that, you really don't know what's going to happen, especially in a strong trending market. Remember, I said that what I'm looking for is for divergence or a strong trend. You know, when I have a strong trending market, I'm looking for it to pull back towards the 1597 EMA. And technically, it did change the market at this point down here. So you could start looking for short trades at that point, but their short trades were short-lived, and it's the end of the day too, so you probably wouldn't be doing much of anything at this point, to be very honest with you. I mean, you know, the last 30 minutes of the day just aren't ideal for trading. But yeah, so that kind of covers, you know, the fact that, hey, even though I've been doing this for a while, I'm still human, but I also recognize that I didn't want to take, and this green arrow was where I would have taken myself out had I been in it. This green line was where I was hoping that it would go, and I was hoping instead of actually trading. So, you know, there's a lot of things that come into play with learning about trading, and the situations are not going to be the same every day. They're just not. And it's going to tell you at one point that it may be going one way, but it's going to change and go the other, because that is the nature of the market. It's run by people, and it's run by emotional people, and people who are scared, and people who don't want to lose their money. And so, you know, every day is going to be a little bit different. But learning to stay focused is your biggest goal, right? When you have a lot of distance and spacing between these lines, then yeah, maybe try that trade from the 233 EMA whenever you've missed the initial entries, or if you've got yourself turned around. Remember, divergence and broken divergence, whenever it starts to break past areas of divergence, it says we have a strong trending market, okay? And a strong trending market means only trade in that direction and keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore. I mean, that would even be something right in here, taking that long trade till it doesn't work anymore, except I would not want to do that with the strength of the MACDs. You would have an exit here, so it would give you the opportunity to take an exit, and we'll just go ahead and show it to you. So, you know, if you took it somewhere in here, and then there's the dryer, the life of a day trader doing laundry. But And actually, I would be fooling myself to tell you that you could actually get out at that point. If you were trading the style that I do, you'd have to be somewhere down here. You wouldn't get out with that reversal bar immediately. So, and it's still a pretty decent amount. Let's see, it's 237. It's a point, so that's more like Marina's style right there. You know, recognizing that the MACDs and the price are in agreement here, that it's not going much further than that at that time. So, you know, just knowing when you see the potential for divergence is not the same as having divergence. Knowing that divergence that breaks and it keeps creating divergence after divergence after divergence, and there's a lot of signs that you have a lot of strength to continue to the upside, and one of those signs is the just massive angle of this 1597 EMA, that you're not crossing the zero line. You've got lots of room to go to it, that it's giving you opportunities on your lower time frame, you know. And all this is a mess right here. And some people might have tried to take that mess and gotten just run over at that point. And I'm actually grateful I wasn't there during that time. You know, but it does pull back. It does give you opportunities. If you trade in the quick style, then you're out pretty quick with those. And you'll be able to do fine with that. I mean, I may have even gotten in at this point had I been trading, because those MACDs are smoking to the upside over there, but I wasn't there, so I can't say that I would have. The only trade I would have taken today, if I did, was a loser. So that was this one right here. That would be the only thing I would have done today, because I look at this and I start going, you know, once I got to this point, I was like, you know what? This is so slow, and this is so grindy, and this is now such a strong trending market to the upside. I don't see it giving me any opportunities anytime soon. So you can't feel like you've missed out. Feeling like you've missed out is going to be the death of you, because it's like, hey, you know what? That trade happened. I wasn't there for it. You know what? So it's not, no skin off my back. You know, I mean, it's not something that you can beat yourself up over, because it's like, yeah, I could have been there, but I wasn't. So I didn't trade it, and that's all there is to it, you know, basically. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight into divergence, and how you can, you know, see the potential for it. So you can see the potential when the MACDs are creeping up slowly and the price is really flying up. You can see that divergence breaks once we start. Actually, the divergence doesn't break until what I consider broken divergence doesn't break until right there. That is when the divergence breaks. It closes above this area that was just holding and holding and holding, and then, you know, and the MACDs were pushing down further and further, and that says super confirmation of a strong trending market, and this intelligent woman didn't pay attention to it. So, I mean, guys, it happens. I mean, if we tried to tell ourselves that it was never going to happen, then we're lying to ourselves, and we're never going to be a profitable trader, because we're hoping for perfection, and perfection just doesn't work in this situation. So that's my recap of today. I'm sure Marina will have one also, which may come out a little bit different than what I have. I mean, because my lesson here today, I had to remind myself about broken divergence. I had to remind myself about strong trending markets. And I had to step away when I realized that I couldn't get my mind out of the trap of trying to catch the high and take it back down. And I just got myself locked into a mindset, and I knew it. And that's why I wrote this notes up here. Nothing to do with making me feel super impatient. Impatience is, you know, idle hands, devil's playground, all that kind of junk. So, yeah. So this is, that's about it. If you guys have questions over divergence, definitely let me know. Otherwise, happy trading.